Hello and welcome to Trending Tickers, brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. Now we're going to be looking at snow, which, if I'm going to be honest with you, this is a terrible chart. This looks like trash. Right now, you've fallen all the way down to the lows in June of 2022, maybe. We've been doing essentially sideways action once the final waterfall stopped. Now we've just been going sideways where this market is trying to figure out if it's going to be bullish or bearish. Let's look at the daily to see if there's any difference. Nope. You essentially will whip back and forth between gap up days, fall down, gap up, fall down, gap up, fall down, gap up, fall down. You even gap when you're falling, which is not fun. You gap up again, you fall down. This chart has essentially told you what it is in the past 6 to 8 months, which is nothingness. There will be a bullish setup at some point for this, but it is not now. Let's look at the daily sentiment indicator. We can see that on this indicator, which is a representation of bullish and bearish price action, we're only at 47% bullish price action. Bearishness is actually reestablishing itself beyond the 50% line. The market generally wants to be in some sort of equilibrium. Yeah, you can hit some highs where you can get a little high. Yeah, you can hit some lows where you get a little low, but it'll generally come back. And right now, there isn't even a direction for you to think it's going to go. So it's just going to swing back and forth wildly. Let's look at the weekly sentiment indicator. Not enough full data to populate this exact indicator, but it's no more different than the daily. It's just sideways. There's nothing really to see there. We'll go ahead and look at the weekly volume. We saw some very large volume, it looks like, in May of 2020. Looks like we saw some very large volume in August of 2020. We haven't really seen a lot of large volume recently. Let's look at the daily. Looks like today got essentially to 10 million shares or just a little bit over. Nothing remarkable here. We don't really see, potentially we'll see a move up in the moving average of volume, but nothing to really let us know that the bull market has reestablished itself. Now here with the daily price correlation, we can see that volatility is going to start lifting up again. This indicator essentially is zero bound, so you can get down to a low like 2.1, or you can get down to a low like 1.056, or you can get down to a low of 1.2, but you're going to see hills of volatility. You're going to have volatility rise, plateau, and then fall. We are at the very bottom, so we are going to expect this to rise. And recently it's been going up to almost 15 on the last two hills of volatility. So if you're at 3.4 and correlation to price is currently negative, your price is going to fall violently. I don't like that look at all. Let's look at the weekly volatility. What we have here, essentially, volatility is falling on the weekly while correlation is high and rising. That is a message and that is a recipe for disaster if you're long in snow right now. Let's look at the weekly non-sentiment trade range. We can see that the volatility, because it's been falling, the range is getting much tighter. We could see that we could go up to 170 easily or down to 121. Not sure where it's going to go. Right now it's in the middle of its range. Looks like the choice it is choosing right now is to go down. We can see here in the daily non-sentiment trade range that the volatility is, again, starting to break out, so the range is getting wider. We can see we were a possible price of 156.70 at the top, and it looks like the bottom could be at 124.55. Essentially what we've seen is that when snow hits the top of its range, it falls. It hits the top of its range, it falls. It hasn't hit the top of its range for a while here, hasn't hit it, nope. But when it hits the bottom, it'll bounce. So hopefully if you watch for it around that 124 level, you get the bounce. Let me know what you think. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I don't know. No position for me. But go ahead and put any comment below that you have and hit that like button. Have a great day.